Good morning, men of Calvary. This is Bart Bowman. And one of the things I like to do at night sometimes is go outside in my backyard and water my strawberry patch. Sometimes I'm going gangbusters, everything's going fine, and then I'm doing this, no water's coming out. Why? Of course, I turn around and the way I pulled the hose kinked it. And so I get a trickle or I get nothing. What's this have to do with anything? Our lives are meant to be full of God, like a hose is meant to be full of water. And not only is it meant to be full inside, but it ought to flow out of us in blessing to others. But sometimes the hose is kinked. Sometimes there are habits of our heart or of our body that are inhibiting what God is trying to accomplish, not only in us, but through us to others. We are to be a source of blessing and not to be men who objectify other human beings made in God's image. Now, I've just sort of given you a hint as to what I'm talking about. I'm talking about purity. Purity is a primary way that the kingdom of God is manifest in our lives. In other words, how do you know if God's in charge of a person? Well, they're walking in purity. The other thing is that how do we cooperate with God so that we fully experience his reign in our lives? By working toward purity. It's both an end and a means. But it's not automatic. We have to take steps. Many of you are struggling. Some of you are stuck. Others of you stumble from time to time. We're all in different places. And others of you have found real liberation because of obedience and because of grace from God in your life. Regardless of where you are in the journey, I invite you to be a part of a study called the Purity Principle. If you're a man that has seen God's victories and grace in your life in increasing ways, and you would like to help other men along this path, please contact me. Let's talk about how we can link arms in ministry. If you are struggling or stumbling or even stuck, you're not alone, and it doesn't have to stay that way. We can, by the grace of God, be different men. It takes cooperation. It takes lots of help from God. It takes joining forces with other godly men, and it takes time. But it is possible. Paul said it this way: I want each of you to know how to possess your vessel in sanctification and honor. What's that mean? It means that he wants us to know in our very bodies how to carry out the teachings of Jesus, which are to treat others the way that we wish for them to treat us. None of us wants to be treated like an object. We want to be treated with value and honor. But it takes time for that to be carried out in our bodies. One of the things that I always think about when I teach that particular thing is when Mason was younger, he learned how to juggle through Mrs. Hostetler in the 4th grade. Z Club is what they call it. The reason it was Z is because they had to juggle from A to Z to join the club. They had to show a certain proficiency. Over the course of years and a lot of education, patience on the part of Mrs. Hostetler, endurance and commitment on the part of Mason, he became able to do things that he was not at first able to do. And you might be in a spot where that you think, I'm just not going to be able to. I've failed too many times. Remember, insanity is this: trying to do the same thing over and over in the same way and expecting different results. We're going to mix it up. Perhaps it's more a matter of working out what God has already worked in than it is about learning some new truth. And sometimes we need others to join us in the process of our sanctification. So, from June 25th for 7 consecutive Thursday nights, 7 to 8:30, I invite you to consider joining me. I invite those of you that have a heart to help other men to contact me. Either way, email me at bart@calvarygreenville.org if you're interested. May the Lord bless you.